Hello, and welcome to the Field of Streams, where I, your host Janeen McCrae, read a short piece of my writing to you so that you, mercifully, don't have to. It is my gift to you, the listener. Now, I don't keep the receipts, so you can't return it. Sorry about that. But, I'll try to bring some value to the encounter. I can't promise you too much, but I can promise you this. I won't keep you long. There's a crow. Apologies for the crow outside the window. Sometimes they get on the roof and peck. That's really helpful when you're trying to record something. Anyway, let's get to the episode. A couple of years back, I started a get out and see things thing. I called it Art Safari. What I'm about to read to you today is the takeaway from my very first Art Safari, which I did back in March 2023. Now, the premise of Art Safari is simple. Pick a destination that has something artsy to do or see, and go. Go and see it. While you're there, you should build some other activities around it. For the second Art Safari, for example, in 2024, and if you want to go listen to an episode about that one, I'll put the link in the description. That one was to Glasgow for an art and music safari, where I went and experienced a concert with The Smile and saw Justin Hawkins of The Darkness doing his little one-man talkie tour. I mean, come on. Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, The Smile. Of course I would fly to Glasgow to see Tom York. I'm nothing if not predictable. And I went and saw a whole lot of art, old and new. Some Rembrandts, some street art in Glasgow. There's a great graffiti mural walking tour in Glasgow. Like I said, link in the description, go listen. But this is not about that. This is about my American West Art Safari. Well, paintings with the theme of the American West. The trip itself was a spur-of-the-moment thing that I really can't explain my rationale for doing in terms of distance and the time it took to get to the safari. I just didn't look at a map. Sometimes it's better not to look at the map because in your sense, you know that it's a long way and it's probably a little stupid to do it. But you do it anyway. Don't look at the map. But I can explain it in terms of the art, why I would go so far to look at some art. I'd become somewhat obsessed with an artist called Mark Maggiori. He paints these epic paintings of the West. I saw online that he was having his first solo, I don't know whether you'd call it a show or an auction or whatever. Anyway, it was in Scottsdale, Arizona. I thought to myself, I should go see that. And so I did. If you did actually pull up a map and look at it, you would see that Scottsdale, Arizona is a long way away from Santa Cruz, California. I'm just setting that up. So long, in fact, that I almost missed the show entirely. Got there on the last day. I think the auction was the night before. He did pretty well in that. I arrived half an hour before they shut the entire thing down, so I had to rush around. But I explained that I'd driven a long way and they took pity on me and gave me an auction book at the end on my way out. And I got to see the paintings and sit with them and just really enjoy my short time with the paintings. I'm obsessed with Mark Maggiori's clouds. Obsessed. I cannot get over the way he paints clouds. Probably not different to the way anyone else paints them, but they just look incredible. I loved being able to get up close to them and see the brushstrokes and then stand back and admire the illusion of them. They were amazing colours of sunsets and sunrises and just the desert. I know it's quite romanticised, but I don't care. I love Mark Maggiori's clouds. There, I've said it again. I mean, he's pretty good at horses too, and sagebrush. Anyway, clouds. Let's talk about clouds. And me driving all the way from Santa Cruz to Scottsdale, Arizona on a whim to look at them. Not a long episode today. It's not so much about Mark Maggiori. It's about making time, if you're able to get out and look at things from all sides, clouds or otherwise. Okay, that's enough intro. If you want to send me your thoughts on this episode or on his work, email me at noodle@jumpinthestream.com. But for now, let us cleanse our creative palates with some fluffy clouds and listen to me reading you a piece of my writing called The Mark Maggiori Art Safari Look at clouds from both sides. Now! His clouds call to me. With hooded gaze and buxom loll from the far-off beckoning sky, they whisper their seductive tease into the passing updraft and squirrely air of a brushstroke. Come to us, they say. Come now, O lost and lonely one. They are like sirens of my sky, attempting to herd my mind to the bliss state of their heady atmospheres. These clouds have spoken to me many times from the sly pixels of artist Mark Maggiori's Instagram posts. They have wiggled and shimmied and caught my eye. From within the prison of an app on the screen of a phone, even while confined and not to scale, they have exerted their powerful flex, their potent draw, their, dare I say, handsy reach. I pinch, I zoom out, I run the curious thumb of my flailing understanding across their chubby cheeks and into their magnetic hues. The colour, the flow, the emotional turbulence. I am colour-dipped and window-fogged. Lost. They have my heart, even at this tiny, digitally rendered scale. But scrolling and liking aren't cutting it, not today. It's not enough. It is simply not enough. Cloudbursts and crazy ideas, milk eddying in black coffee, a simple shock and swirl and the urge must be obeyed. And so it goes. On Saturday morning, I pack my truck with on-the-road adventure gear and I drive for 8 hours. I stop in the Mojave Desert. I sleep overnight in a howling, shove-hard wind, my tent flapping wildly while dreaming of clouds and golden frames. As my truck shifts with another gust in the darkness, my rooftop tent rippling upon its perch with me fearful and cowering inside of it, I attempt to still my mind. Art safari, art safari. I'm on an art safari. Breathe. Early Sunday morning I wrestle my tent back into its home as the wind howls hyena-like around my ears. It yips, it screeches, it caterwauls at high volume. I counter. Art safari. Keep your arms inside the vehicle at all times. Art safari. Breathe. Packed and with hair in a wild and windswept tangle, I drive 5 more hours to Scottsdale, Arizona, check into a hotel, grab my hat, put on my boots, and go downtown. On East Main Street, I climb the stairs to the 2nd floor of the Legacy Gallery, and just like that, am delivered to a giant room filled with Mark Maggiori paintings. I am primed and ready to take a pie to the face of pure and delicious clouds. Ha! Fooled you. This is not a story about clouds. Art safari, art safari. I'm on an art safari. Breathe. It's also not a story about how Mark Maggiori paints clouds, though it is a bit, but also not, because Mark Maggiori doesn't just paint clouds. Mark Maggiori paints the ever-loving shit out of the West. The big B, bold and vibrant West. As a receiver to what appears to be a very clear signal noise, he channels it through the paint and bristles of his brush and onto the canvas, creating deep portals that, if you happen to be standing right in front of a real live one, will suck you into a squelching warm vortex of emotional reverie. You will stare, absorb the scene, look from one edge to another and all around. You will shift your eyes and notice the fine-featured cowboys seated upon their horses and wonder idly, "What are you thinking about?" You will follow their gaze. "What are you looking at?" And speculate as to what it is that has caught their off-canvas eye. A steer gone astray? A rabbit? A rider approaching, perhaps? You will go deeper. You will observe pools of colour and strokes on a mesa, and the mesa of your mind will expand and contract. Brain becomes heart, beating and throbbing and on fire at the very pulse of it. Rock and tree and wildflower and cactus. Horse flanks and patterned blankets. Your eye, your eye, your eye. Where will it go? What will it see? How will your body absorb it into your conscious being? Mark Maggiori will show you the way. More than clouds. Did I mention clouds? He's a whole sky guy, and a mesa guy, a vista guy. He's a put a small human in a panorama frame vision builder guy. And right now, if Saturday's auction prices are anything to go by, he's having a moment. How amazing that feeling must be, to work so hard, produce, and then have it all pay off in one glorious night. He must be humming. He must be absolutely vibrating with the buzz of it. So, more than clouds, you get it. But let's talk about them. Sometimes there, sometimes not, just like real clouds. Confident and swaggering, they giggle in their shimmering orange and pink cloaks in the mornings and afternoons and all day longs, unfurling as willing backdrops to the drama of the day. Professional photobombers, these clouds steal shows and chew through the scene. In a good way. Big and billowy, fluffy and light, angry and hot thunderheads, the list of cloud personalities is staggering. It's clouds' illusions, you'll recall, that Joni Mitchell doesn't know clouds at all. Mark Maggiori doesn't seem to have this problem, but, say it with me, this is not a story about clouds. What then? This is a story about colour, not clouds. This is a story about purpose, not clouds. It's a story about letting your purpose colour your path and following it, which is a cloudy thought poorly expressed. It's a story about finding expression and letting it flow through your fingers and into your work. Your relentless, unending, meaningful, and joyful work. There, clearer. It's a story about dedicating yourself to getting those sacred things and places out of you, to let your clouds as metaphor flow and roil and billow and translate the sun's bright thoughts and planet's menace and nature's rage, and to allow your human dreams to appear as the surreal and sublime angels of interpretation that they are. But most of all, she says as a way of justifying driving for 13 hours on a whim to look at paintings, I think this is a story about art safari. I am on an art safari. About why it's important to submit to and commit to your role as forever student of life, of people, and of creative pursuits. Because you can never know what you don't know if you never know about clouds. It's a story about the value of stepping away from your desk or easel or guitar or camera every now and then, on a whim, to expose yourself to the work of others as a way of reaffirming your commitment to your own work. To allow yourself to be inspired by others, both their art and or success. Art safari, art safari, art safari. Breathe. Let the work of others gather on your horizon, brooding, menacing, dappled. And then go and look at other people's clouds. Make haste. Go. Andale. Find work that is outside of what you do, work that you yourself cannot create, don't know how to, don't have the skills for. Find. Put on your boots. Go and look. And in closing, Mark Maggiori can paint 'em, Joni Mitchell can sing about 'em, and I can write about 'em. Clouds. This is totally a story about clouds. And there you have it. Today's totally cloud-free sky of an episode. Or is it really cloudy? I mentioned Joni Mitchell in there. Here's a couple of lines from her anti-cloud song, Both Sides Now. And I quote, "But now they only block the sun. They rain and they snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way." Okay, dramatic, but let's admit it, it's not an anti-cloud song, or is it? I mean, she says earlier she's seen them as ice cream castles in the air too. You know, it's a song about looking at the both sides of things, of love, of, whatever. I'll put a link to that song in the description because if you've never heard it, you should go listen to that song. No one needs an excuse to go listen to Joni Mitchell. Just go. Go on a Joni Mitchell art safari. Speaking of going, let's get out of here. I share these missives to show you that ideas can come from anywhere. So look everywhere, even if you've got to drive for 13 hours to get there. Then go make something of your own. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. But for now, I will leave you with this. Love what you love, and I'll see you out there making the stuff. Bye!